Hi students, good evening to everyone. So today we are going to discussing about the deflection of a truss joints by using strain energy method. So in previous sessions we completed deflection of a simply supported beam and cantilever beam with the different loadings also by using this strain energy methods. In this strain energy method we are having two types of theorems. We call it as Castigliano's first theorem, Castigliano's second theorem. So what is meant by Castigliano's first theorem? The partial derivative of strain energy with respect to the point load, which gives the deflection. As the same thing here also we have to apply the Castigliano's first theorem for getting deflection of truss joint. Okay, so what is the first theorem? Again I am repeating, the partial derivative of strain energy for point load which gives the deflection at that particular joint. Okay, so here also they mentioned, so calculate the deflection of a truss joint. They mentioned directly at that particular joint only we have to find the deflection. So first theorem defines the same statement, the strain energy with respect to the point, at that particular point only the deflection will appears. Okay, so that's why you have to apply the first theorem for trusses also. So there is a basic derivation to get this expression. So delta or y is equals to summation of pkl by ae. Just I take an example for explaining what is the p and what is the k here. So what is the p means here, whatever the load is given in the truss member, due to that load what is the member forces are delivered, appeared. Okay, so what is the member forces are appeared due to that. So due to that particular force, that is the p value, and where the deflection we have to find, either it may be C, either it may be D joint, either it may be E joint. At that particular joint we have to remove the all loads, whatever the loads are acting on the truss member we have to remove. So where the deflection is going to ask, at that particular joint only we have to apply the unit force. So due to this unit force, what is the member forces will appear each and every members, that is the K forces. Okay, again I am repeating, so whatever the load is given in the truss member, due to this load what is the member forces will appear, that is the P forces. And what is the K forces means here, so first of all you have to remove the all loads whatever acting in the particular truss member. Just you apply the unit load or 1 kilonewton where the deflection asked in question. Okay, so that is the K forces. And everybody know about the L. L is the length of the member and A is the area of the members and E is the Young's modulus of the each member. So for taking the summation we will get the deflection. So again I am repeating, unit load we have to apply where the deflection is asked. Okay, this is the just a simple explanation about the how to solve the deflection of truss joint. So we will move to the one typical problem which appear in previous examination question paper. So determine the vertical deflection of joint E for a truss shown in figure. Take E is equals to 500 to 10 power minus 6 meter square and E is equals to 200 into 10 power 6 kilonewton per meter square. So this area and Young's modulus are constant for all members. Okay, so use strain energy method. So this is the truss member, the load is acting at the particular point E, so you have to calculate the deflection at this point only. So while you are calculating the K forces for each and every member, you have to remove this load and you take the point load or you take the unit load at this point only. Why? Because they asking here, they are asking vertical deflection at the joint E only, so that's why we have to take the unit load at this E joint. Okay, So this is the question which appears in previous question paper. So first of all, this particular truss is a statically determinate truss. So when you calculate the static indeterminacy, so what is the static indeterminacy statement? The number of unknown forces when compared to the equations of equilibrium. So when you compare these equations of equilibrium, this entire truss be the statically determinate truss. Okay, so this is the statically determinate truss. So we are simply getting the member forces and everything. Okay, so first of all you have to calculate the reactions at A and reactions at D due to this 40 kilonewtons. What is the reaction will appears due to the 40 kilonewtons, and it carrying a span of 2 meters. Okay, so here the loading is symmetrical loading, so that's why VA is equals to VD is equals to total load divided by 2. What is the total load here acting? 40 kilonewtons divided by 2, which gives the 20 kilonewtons on each reaction. Okay, so here I mentioned so one more typical span of the AB, EC and CD. So how to solve this span? So simply you have to divide the 2 meters into 2 ways, that is 1 meter and 1 meter, and here it is angle is 60 degrees, and here it is unknown I am taking as X. So when you take the cos 60 degrees, adjacent side by the hypotenuse will comes, adjacent side by the hypotenuse will comes. So that is adjacent side is 1 meter and divided by X. So when you get the X value, it is equals to 2 meters. So the meaning is the entire truss is in symmetrical truss, so all the member lengths are also equal, that is 2 meters. Okay, entire length of the member forces are equal and area is also equal. And next, so how to calculate the member forces, that is the second aspect. So first of all I am taking the joint A, B and as soon C, E, D. So you have to take like this only. Okay, so I think you may know about how to calculate the member forces of a truss member. In engineering mechanics it appears two methods, that is method of joints and method of section. So you may know about these two methods, how to solve the member forces. Now I am going to solve this member forces by means of a method of joints. So what is the method of joint statement is, at this particular point A, so what are the member are going to meet, you have to solve by using that particular method of joint. Okay, so here I mentioned one arrow symbols. Okay, so this is a joint, when you take this is a joint, these are the directions of the particular member forces, just you take like this only. So at this particular joint, if the members are going in the right direction, you have to take the arrows like this. If the members are going in left direction, if you take like this, and if the members are going in upward direction, you take arrow like this, and downwards you will take like this only. I think it is easy to get the member forces. Okay, and next we will go to the how to calculate the P forces in a particular formula, that is P forces we are calculating. Okay, so I am taking the first joint A. At this particular joint A, one reaction force is coming, and next the force is AE and the force is AB is coming. Just to observe here, I am taking the joint A, so I am calculating the P forces at this particular P joint. So the members are meeting like this, so but the reaction force is always acting upward only, so that's why I am not changing the arrow. Okay, and next PA force, PAE and PAAB. So I am taking these two are going in or moving in right side direction, so that's why I am taking arrows like this. Okay, so everybody know about the equations of equilibrium. So sigma V is equal to 0. So what is the sigma V is equal to 0? Sum of upward force equal to downward forces. Just these two are, so this is upward direction and this one also acting in upward direction, both are positive. So VA plus and PAB, So here we are taking vertical component, so that's why PAB into sine 60 degrees. This is the vertical component. Okay, finally PAB, when you separate the PAB is equals to minus 23.09 kilonewtons compression. So here what is this compression and what is this tension means? So when you take the member forces, if the member forces is towards the joint, the member forces are going towards the joint. Okay, when the member forces are meeting towards the joint, that member forces is in compression zone. So when the member forces which is away from the joint, so that member forces is in tension, so it appears in positive. So here I am taking tension as positive, tension forces are positive and compression forces are negative. So finally PAB is equals to minus 23.09 kilonewtons. So minus will appear, so that's why I mentioned compression. So again, and move to the sigma h is equal to 0. What is the sigma h is equal to 0? Sum of horizontal forces is equal to 0. Okay, so these two are moving in right direction. Just you observe, these two are moving in right direction. PAE plus PAB cos 60 degrees is equal to 0. So finally PAE is equals to minus PAB cos 60 degrees. Here finally I got 11.54 kilonewtons. Here positive is appeared, so that's why I am taking tension. So if any negative value will come, so you have to change the sign of this arrow. So this is the final diagrammatic representation. So when you apply the diagram, in the diagram you have to change this arrow. You should not take this arrow, you have to change this arrow when minus will appear. So then we will discuss later that one. And next, so this is the at particular joint A, these are the member forces will appears. Then I will move to the joint B. Just observe here, joint B has BC, BE and BA. These three forces are meeting. So while you are taking the joints, are how to decide this joint, which joint I have to take means, so first of all you have to take 2 are unknown and 1 be the known value. So same aspect I taken here also. So these 2 are unknown and VA force is known value. So you follow this one only, you have to follow this rule only, then you will get the solution. Otherwise you will not get the solution, it may complicated. Okay, so then I will move to the joint B. So when I am taking the joint B, so this is the operations of the arrows and everything, and the members are PBE and PAB and next PBC. We know the PAB value and these two are unknown forces. Here the angle is 60 degrees, here it is angle is 60 degrees and here also 60 degrees will appear, sir. As the same thing here also 60 degrees. When you take the summation of V is equal to 0, vertical forces is equal to 0, here the two forces are acting in downward direction. Okay, so that's why sum of upward force equal to downward forces. There is no any upward forces, so directly I am taking the downward forces. PAB sine 60 degrees and PBE sine 60 degrees is equal to 0. We know that the PAB value, that is PAB is equal to minus 23.09. When you substitute this one, we will get the PBE is equal to 23.09 kilonewtons, that is positive will get. So that's why tension, I am taking the tension value. And next we will go to the sigma h is equal to 0 for this operation. So while taking the sigma h is equal to 0, here PBC and PBE, these two forces are going in right side direction, but PAB force is moving in left side direction. So that's why you have to take this one is negative. So here just observe PBC plus PBE cos 60 degrees. Why I am taking cos 60 degrees here? So this is what horizontal component is cos theta. So that's why the angle is cos 60 degrees. And next PAB or PBA minus. Why I am taking minus here? So this particular force is moving in left side direction. So that's why I am taking PBA cos 60 degrees is equal to 0, and finally when you separate the PBC is equal to, finally I got minus 23.09 kilonewtons. Here minus, so here I got the minus value, so that's why I mentioned this is compression forces. Just you observe, this is a symmetrical truss. So we already solved PAB, PAE and PBE and PBC. You should not focus on PCE, PED and next PCD. Why? Because this is a symmetrical section, so that's why whatever the member forces which appear in this triangle as the same member forces also will get. So you have any doubt, just check it once while you are practicing. Okay, so this particular method will get only in if the truss is in symmetrical section. Okay, this symmetrical, completely symmetrical. Here the area is also same, moment of Young's modulus is also same, so that's why entire system is in symmetrical. So that's why, so while you are calculating this triangular, same member forces will appear. Okay, so that's why I am taking here similarly PEB is equal to PEC, and next PAB is equals to PCD, and next PAE is equals to PED. So same member forces will appear. So this is the so P forces will appear. Okay, next we will move to the how to get this K forces. Here they asked vertical displacement at joint E. So please be careful while listening the question, and next one while reading the question. Okay, why? Because here apply, here they mentioned vertical deflection at joint E. At that particular joint only you have to take the unit load. If they mentioned you have to calculate the member force at this particular joint C, okay, you should take the 1 kilonewton at this particular joint. Okay, that is the procedure for calculating the K forces. Okay, so then we will move to the how to solve the K forces. Just you observe, they are asked calculate the vertical forces at joint E. So that's why I am taking unit load. Okay, 1 kilonewton unit load you have to take that particular joint E. You wash out whatever the loads are acting in truss members. Okay, here any loads are acting, you should remove that one while calculating the K forces. Here just you have to take the unit load where the deflection is asked. Okay, so that is 1 kilonewtons is acting at E joint. I am removing the 40 kilonewtons. So by 1 kilonewtons, what is the member forces will appear? You have to calculate the same procedure, method of joint procedure only. So first of all you have to take the, due to this 1 kilonewtons, what is the reactions, vertical reactions will get. So it is a symmetrical section, so I think you may know. So VA is equals to VD is equals to total load divided by 2. Total load is 1 kilonewtons, that is 0.5. So kilonewtons I got. And same thing at the particular joint A. Why? Because I am taking joint A. Here the two forces are unknown and one force is known, so that's why I am taking the joint A, or otherwise you choose D joint also. So it one also it one answer also will get same value. Oh, okay, so while taking the joint E, finally same procedure, there is no any change while calculating K forces also, but values will be changed. So when you take the sigma V is equal to 0, so vertical, these two are acting in upward direction. Finally I got the 0.577 kilonewtons. Here sine 60 degrees. Why I am taking sine 60? This is a vertical component. And next one, sigma h is equal to 0. Okay, sigma h is equal to 0. So these two are acting in right side direction, so that's why I am taking both are plus. So when you send to the right hand side, I will get the KAB is equals to cos 60 degrees. Here I mentioned all are in K forces only, so that's why you just remember while you are calculating the K, you should mention KAE, KAB like this only. Okay, finally I got this is positive, that is the tensile forces. And next for same thing joint B also I got KB is equal to 0.577, KBC is equal to minus 0.577. The same procedure will get. There is no any change while calculating the K forces. Just the change is you have to remove the whatever load is acting in the particular truss, and you have to remove that load, and where the deflection is asking at that particular joint only you have to take the unit load. This is the procedure. So after solving, so K forces, you have to take this that is tension or compression. You have to represent the diagram. So here AB is what is, just you take the AB, KAB is minus, that is compression. Compression means here it goes towards the joint. Just I observe here these two arrows are going towards the joint. So compression representation is towards the joint. And next when you take the KBE, just observe KBE. So this is the KBE. These two arrows are away from the joint. Means here the tension is coming. So that's why here the member force is tension. So that's why you have to mention KBE is away from the joint. Like this you have to take the arrows. Okay. Again here observe KBC is equal to minus 0.577. So these two arrows are towards the joint. So it's moving towards the joint. You have to mention arrows like this. As the same thing, you have to take the same diagrammatic representative for P forces also. So after calculating P forces and K forces, you have to tabulate the values like this. So first, what are the members which are having in the truss, and what is the P force and what is the K force which are in kilonewtons, what is the length value you have to mention in meters, and area value in meter square, and E value kilonewton per meter square. So please careful while taking the units. You have to take or in SI units or in CGS units, whatever it may be. Okay, you have to be careful while taking the units. So these are the AB, AE, BC, BE, ED and CD. These are the member forces. P forces, due to the load, whatever load is given in question at the for that particular load, these the P member forces which appears. And next K forces, so you have to remove that load where the deflection is asking at that particular joint. You are going to apply the unit load. For that unit load, these are the member forces. And length, entire length, each member length is 2 meters. Each member length is 2 meters. So that's why you have to take, I am taking just 2, and similarly these all forces member lengths are 2 meters, and area is also same, Young's modulus is also same. And when you take the PKL by AE, so P into K into L and divided by A into E, finally I got these values. So when you calculate this one, you will get these values. And what is the formula? So delta or YE, meaning is delta at that particular joint E is equals to summation of PKL by AE. Summation means you have to sum all these values, so 0.000266 up to 0.000266. Finally I got the value is YE is equal to 0.001462 meters. So deflection is in meters. When you convert into the mm, finally I got 1.46 mm. So this is the procedure to solve the deflection of a truss joint. Okay, this truss is in statically determined. You keep it in mind. If any question paper they given, so calculate the deflection of a truss at that particular joint. The truss is in statically determinate only. Okay, in second chapter they want to ask to calculate the statically indeterminate truss. So that procedure is different. Here directly they mentioned calculate the deflection at this particular joint. Okay, that truss is in statically determinate only. You blindly believe that one. Okay, you should not again go to the formula and calculate the is it statically determinate or indeterminate. You should not do that one. Simply just follow the truss is in statically determinate. Okay, so this is the procedure. Just I am concluding how to solve this one. So just he mentioned calculate the vertical deflection, and the area is like this, and Young's modulus is like this. So first of all you have to calculate the reactions And next one, you have to take the P forces. How to get the P forces? Whatever the load is given for a particular truss, based upon that load you have to calculate the member forces due to this P forces. And next, where the load is, where the vertical deflection is going to ask, at that particular joint you have to take the unit load. So remove the all loads are acting on a truss and you take the unit load at that particular joint. Due to this unit load, whatever the member forces will appear, you have to calculate that one. And next, tabulate like this, PKL by AE. This is the final solution, and just do the homework for this. And the same thing, this is a simple problem, okay, but area is different here. You have to calculate the all member forces. I think it is very easy. Here it is only 3 member forces. Here the area of AB is 150 mm square and area of AC and CB is 200 mm square. Just be careful, here it is in meters but area is in mm square. Be careful while taking the units. Okay, now tomorrow we will go to the what is the statically kinematic indeterminacy for a, how to solve this kinematic indeterminacy for a truss and static indeterminacy for a truss. We will discuss that one. Okay, thank you.